Imagine being deep behind enemy lines. You're cold, you're hungry, and the only food you have is a brick-hard ration. Lighting a fire to cook is a death sentence. A single spark, a flicker of flame, could give away your position to an enemy sniper or an artillery spotter. So what do? You adapt. I'm going to show you the WWII no-fire cooking tricks that kept soldiers alive when a spark could get them killed. These weren't just clever camping hacks. They were classified military secrets, born from the brutal necessity of survival. These methods were developed in secret, tested in the most dangerous conditions, and guarded with the utmost security. They were so effective, they were kept quiet to avoid tipping off the enemy. If Axis forces had captured a soldier who knew these techniques, the information could have been extracted and used against the Allies, erasing a crucial tactical advantage. The knowledge was disseminated on a strictly need-to-know basis, passed down from veteran soldiers to green recruits in hushed tones, far from prying eyes and ears. The year is 1944. The Allied invasion of Europe is underway. Night patrols are constant. Blackout orders are in effect for civilians and military alike. The night belongs to the unseen. Every shadow could hide a threat, and every light is a beacon for that threat. For a soldier on the front lines, this meant a cold, gnawing hunger was a constant companion after sunset. A hot meal was a luxury that could cost you and your entire unit your lives. If you lit a stove, you lit up your position. It was that simple. A mess tin over a flame became a bullseye. The light could be seen for miles by enemy aircraft or observers on high ground. The risk was unthinkable. So troops had to eat in the dark or not eat at all. Morale plummeted. Cold food offered little comfort and was harder to digest, draining precious energy. This was a crisis of logistics and spirit, until a handful of stealth hacks developed by military quartermasters and chemists changed the game. These weren't just about food. They were about survival, morale, and maintaining combat effectiveness. Trick 1. The chemical heat pack. This was the pinnacle of battlefield innovation. Imagine a pocket stove that fits in your palm, requires no flame, and produces no light. The science was brilliant. Mix the right safe-to-handle components in a sealed tin, or more commonly, a waterproof pouch. Add a small amount of water to catalyze the reaction, and boom, silent, flameless heat. This exothermic reaction was powerful, generating temperatures hot enough to warm a can of sea rations or a pouch of coffee in minutes. All with no flame, no light, and no smoke. It was a ghost kitchen on the battlefield, a miracle of chemistry that provided a hot meal in the most hostile environments imaginable. A serious word of caution: do not DIY this. Chemistry can hurt you fast. The specific compounds used, like quicklime or magnesium iron alloys, are hazardous and require expert knowledge to handle safely. Today, you can buy commercially produced, safe versions of these flameless ration heaters. Stick to those. Trick 2. Body heat cooking. The human oven. This method is as old as humanity itself, but it was perfected out of necessity in WWII. It's slow, but it's silent, requires zero equipment, and uses a resource every soldier has: their own body heat. The technique is simple. Wrap food tight, sealing it from moisture and air. Then, place it where the body runs warm: the armpits, the groin, or against the chest. These areas maintain a consistent temperature around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Then, you just go about your duties. You march, you stand guard, you wait. And time does the rest. It's not fast. But 6 hours later, that hardtack biscuit has absorbed moisture and softened. That tough, preserved meat is tenderized. The food is soft, safer from bacteria, and way more edible. It turns a jaw-breaking chore into a warm, comforting meal. Trick 3. The solar concentrator. For daytime operations in open country, when a fire was still too risky due to its smoke, soldiers turned to the most powerful and obvious heat source available: the sun. All it took was a little ingenuity. A mess tin, shiny foil, and sunlight focused to serious temperatures. By shaping the foil into a parabolic reflector, a soldier could concentrate the sun's rays onto a single point. This created a tiny, intensely hot zone, easily reaching over 300 degrees Fahrenheit. It was enough to sizzle a piece of bacon or heat water to a near boil at high noon. It was silent, smokeless, and used nothing but scrap material and physics. Trick 4. The earth oven. This ancient technique, also known as a Dakota fire hole, was adapted for flameless cooking. The principle is simple: insulate, trap, and stack heat in the ground. Instead of using fire, soldiers would use preheated rocks or even a couple of active chemical heat packs. You'd bury your sealed meal with the heat source, and the surrounding earth acts as a perfect insulator, trapping the heat and cooking the food slowly and evenly over several hours. It's not magic, just physics, letting a low, steady temp do slow cook work underground. The result was food that was tender, moist, and hot, with zero visible signature on the surface. Trick 5. Fermentation cooking. This is less about heating and more about transformation. On long-range patrols or in situations where resupply was uncertain, soldiers needed ways to make raw, tough foods digestible and preserve them without refrigeration. The answer was controlled decomposition. Using starter cultures they carried with them, controlled microbes transformed tough foods, grains, some proteins and vegetables, into digestible fuel without heat. This process breaks down complex carbohydrates and proteins, making nutrients more available and neutralizing anti-nutrients found in many raw grains and legumes. It's food science, not guesswork. It required knowledge and precision, but it could turn inedible forage into a life-saving source of calories. Trick 6. Pressure tenderizing. The simplest method of all, relying on pure mechanical force. Many rations, especially dried meats like jerky or pemmican, were notoriously tough. The solution? Brute force. Mechanical force breaks down fibers, by pounding the ration with a rock or the butt of a rifle, or by using a field press made from logs and leverage. This process physically shredded the tough muscle fibers and connective tissues, so hard rations become chewable, like cooking, minus the fire. It made the food easier to eat and digest, conserving critical energy. These 6 techniques formed a toolkit for survival. Stealth meals meant soldiers could eat behind lines, in subs, under blackout, anywhere fires were impossible. It meant a warm meal in a freezing foxhole, a moment of comfort that could restore a soldier's will to fight. It was a critical advantage that boosted morale and kept the fighting force effective. After the war, the world rushed towards convenience. Electricity became universal, gas stoves were the norm, and the consumer market exploded with gadgets. Convenience gear won the spotlight, and these methods, born of desperation and secrecy, faded into obscurity, remembered only by the veterans who had depended on them. But what happens when that convenience disappears? Today, grids fail, fuels run short. Natural disasters, supply chain disruptions, or infrastructure failures can plunge us back into a world where the simple act of cooking becomes a complex problem. These WWII skills are suddenly relevant again. Being prepared doesn't require a bunker. Your 24-hour no-fire kitchen starts with what's at home: foil, sealable bags, reflectors, safe heat packs. The principles of solar concentration, insulation, and chemical reaction are timeless. You can build a solar oven from a cardboard box and foil. You can use body heat to make overnight oats on a camping trip. The key is to understand the why behind each method. Learn the principles, practice safely. Try making a solar oven on a sunny day. Experiment with body heat warming on your next hike. Build a small, safe kit. Knowing how to create heat and prepare food without a flame is a fundamental survival skill. During the war, they hid these methods out of necessity because the knowledge was a weapon. Today, that knowledge is a tool for resilience, a lifeline when modern systems fail. They were classified for a reason. Now you know.